Well, who do you think you are? I just don't know what to do. It's been a horrible week. You know, those Jews, they bother me all the time. They even woke me up in the middle of the night. Who do you think you are? And why are you here? Oh, you want to know who I am? I'm Pontius Pilate. You ask where I was born? I don't know. I was there, but I don't remember too much. Someplace in Italy. You ask how old I am? I don't know that either. You and I count years differently. But I am old enough to wield power with an iron fist. I grew up as a Roman knight. I've had an illustrious military career. I climbed the ladders. I eliminated the competition. Some of them on the battlefield. Some of them my enemies. Some of them my friends. And now I'm the prefect of Judea. That means I control this turbulent province through military law. I never make a mistake. And if I do, you shouldn't say anything. I collect taxes, any amount I choose or I need. I'm the fist of Rome. I maintain law and order. I dominate this area so people know that Rome should be feared. I can execute anyone I want to, just like that. There's no appeal for a Jew. Maybe for a Roman, small chance. But if he appeals, I'll kill him anyway. Then the appeal has died. You see, the greater the fear people have, the less likely it is for rebellion against Rome. I live in Caesarea by the sea, built by Herod. You call him the Great. He was a friend of Caesar's. He was a better friend of Augustus. Now, I've been the governor here for the last 7 years. Having to deal with these people, it's difficult. The only way to deal with them is with brute force, an iron fist. There's only one power here. I'm at the head of 10 Roman legions. And I have others that I can call on to help me from Damascus. My boss, Vitellius, is my commander, and his henchman is Marcellus. And we three tolerate no dissension. I hate these feuding Jews, the scheming priest, the Sadducees and the Pharisees who try to act like they're better than everybody else. They compete against each other for the favor of this fickle crowd. They change their allegiances just as the wind changes directions. We Romans, we were never meant to deal with such children like this. I do not know what to do with them. In the past, I've tried to rein them in. I've marched my legions in a show of force into Jerusalem. They surrounded my house and protested. I didn't know what to do. You know, you have thousands of people waking you up in the middle of the night, yelling your name, cursing at you. I didn't know what to do. So when they did that, I backed down. Now I know better. I have their throats slit when they protest me taking money. Yeah, I took money from their temple. I used it to build an aqueduct. and they protested. They surrounded me and taunted me. And on my sign, my soldiers took out their clubs and clubbed them all down. I spilt their blood just to get them to shut up. Jupiter knows I've tried to be nice. They view me as greedy, inflexible, cruel, always right, never wrong. I use robbery and oppression to get my way. And if the truth is known, they are right in what I do, in the way they describe me. I want to be a man of strength. I will not tolerate that people see me as weak or indecisive. My predecessors tried to appease these Jews. It got them nowhere. When I was appointed by the commander of the Praetorian Guard, my friend Lucius, we were going to change things. Things were fine with my friend there. Don't you say that Lucius was my friend. If you do, I will have you killed in the most unpleasant way that you can imagine. You see, Lucius Gaius Sejanus, he was the chief of staff of that horrible, no-good Tiberius. And if you repeat that, I'll have you doubly killed. You never know whom you can trust nowadays. Tiberius, he's the Caesar. But he doesn't want to use force. He wants to appease and be nice and kind and gentle. He lives on the island of Capri. He knows nothing of the real world. He knows nothing of the power of brute force. It's true. Sejanus wanted to be emperor, and I was willing to assist him to control these legions here in Judea. Whenever the Jews complained, my friend would take their complaint and do away with it. Tiberius never heard one complaint. There was never any problem. Now it's a different story, and I just don't know what to do. Tiberius found out about my friend Lucius Gaius Sejanus, and he's on a rampage, killing anyone he suspects of being part of that conspiracy. You know, I really wasn't involved. Honestly, I'm not really that innocent either. I just don't know what to do. To make things better, I kind of know how that Tiberius is. Good for nothing, low down Caesar that he is. I built a statue for him and dedicated it to him to honor that low-down, passive Tiberius. And he will love me for my public display of affection and honor for him. This weekend, it was terrible. I just don't know what to do. It was the Passover weekend. That's bad enough. To have all those people march into Jerusalem and do their thing, that's terrible. We always have to bring our legions in to make sure, as the city swells with Jews, we have enough men to suppress any armed rebellion. But this year, it was exceptionally bad. There was something in Daniel that some kind of book that they have that said, this is the year that Messiah is going to come and be cut off. And they were blaming me like I was going to cut off their Messiah. I don't know this Daniel, and he doesn't know me. And I really don't care about what he had to say 400 years ago. But I was prepared. I brought several legions to the fortress Antonia. I left my residence, and I'm now residing in Jerusalem. That night, they woke me up in the middle of the night. I mean, I had all kinds of visitors. My wife, Portia, God bless her, I love her. But she is so superstitious. She believes in all this God stuff. She believes in the stars. She wants me to run Rome and the Roman Empire based on her desire not to offend any of these gods. Don't have anything to do with them, she said. I've had a dream. I don't believe any of this God stuff. Yeah, I bow my knee to them, even to the Caesar, but I don't believe. I believe in power. And these gods, they're helpless. It's not only my wife that came to see me. It's this Caiaphas and Annas. Those religious fanatics, they call themselves Sadducees. They're actually fanatical. They're fanatical about money. They act like they're so nice and so involved with worshiping God. They're only fanatical about their bottom line. And this Jesus that they drug in front of me, he's cost them millions. He exposes their hypocrisy. That's the way it is with all those religious people. They want to appear to be religious, and they're hypocritical. They're power hungry and greedy. And he had thrown out these money changers. He's made mockery of their money-making scheme in the temple. And they want me to murder him for them. They can't do it. They're not Roman. I am. So they brought him to me. This Jesus guy. Yeah, I've heard about him. I've been here the whole time. He's been doing all these magic tricks, and they say he did this, and they say he did that. I've even had him investigated. Now, I can't explain it. These people who were lame and now walk, who are blind and now see, I can't explain it, but I don't believe it. And when they brought him to me, I knew just what to do. Herod Antipas was in town, and this Jesus guy is from Galilee. So I just said, Herod, baby, you need to deal with him. That Herod Antipas, he's an idiot. He laughs all the time. He can hardly think. And when he thinks, he doesn't think clearly. I sent this Jesus to this nutcase, and he's supposed to deal with him. Well, I guess he had one of his lucid moments, and he sent him back to me. And so I was supposed to deal with him. But you see, he was a friend of Sejanus too. And Tiberius was on to him as well. So we kind of made an agreement. I'll support him if he supports me, and I'll get rid of this Jesus guy. I interrogated him. At first, he didn't want to even answer. Are you a king? All he has to do is nod with his head. That's a capital offense. I'll have him crucified. You said it. Are you a king? You said it. But not of this world. What other world is there? He must be a lunatic too. Don't you know I have the power over your life in my hands? He kind of smiled and chuckled and he said, no, you don't. I have the power to lay down my life and to take it up again. And I said, he must be crazy. You know, how can you deal with somebody like that? He's just a little bit strange, has strange beliefs. He didn't do anything particularly wrong except telling people the truth. So I had him beaten, scourged. He was almost dead. Perhaps a little bit of his blood would satisfy the crowds. I knew he was innocent, but he threatened the peace here in Judea. All these trumped up charges and lies. Am I a Jew? I don't even want to understand what they're trying to say. And so I paraded him out in front of them, bloody and beaten, his flesh torn from him. Surely they would have compassion. Has he not suffered enough? Just let him go. He's going to die anyway. Caiaphas had the crowds well organized, and he would not allow me to release Jesus. What should I do with him? Crucify him. Why? Because he says he's king of the Jews. You know, that's like a child saying, I'm going to kill you. He has no way of accomplishing anything that he's going to say. They even threatened me. If you do not crucify him, you are no friend of Caesar's. And I knew exactly what they meant. They were going to accuse me of being friends with Sergius. And then I would have the same fate as Sergius and this Christ. I just didn't know what to do. I'm a man who always knows what to do. I'm right, and I just didn't know what to do. So I froze. Just let them have their way. What's one more innocent man who's going to be murdered? Hundreds of them are murdered every day. Some by the Romans, some by the Jews. What's the big deal? If it will keep the peace, we'll be okay. He was crucified in a public place for all to see. When my soldiers got through with him, he was as dead as a doornail. We know how to kill people. We're excellent at it. We have lots of practice. Then those religious leaders came to me. They didn't like the sign that I put on his head. I put over there, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. And it was a warning. Anybody who wants to be King of the Jews will feel the weight of a Roman fist and will hang on a Roman cross. They wanted me to say, he claims to be the King of the Jews. And I said, no. This is a warning to you. This is what happens to people who oppose Rome. We will crush them. We will show no mercy. We will crush him and you. And he's dead and gone. And only we are left to rule the world. One of his followers came and asked me for his body. Okay, what do you want to do with a body? Just bury it and be gone. Those religious leaders came back and said, they're going to try to steal him. And I said, they won't do that. I have a whole cohort ready for them to watch this tomb. Nobody's going to steal the body. Then they woke me up this morning. Unbelievable. There was an earthquake. Unbelievable. They came running to me saying he's gone. Now, what can I say? When he's gone, he's gone. You may not like it, but it's true. Oh, you know that story that they're telling people about, that somebody came and stole the body away? Not with my guards. But I knew if I didn't protect my guards, there would be war. So I protected my guards. No one would ever believe that my guards would go to sleep while they're guarding a tomb. That's ridiculous. No one stole that body. But he's alive again. I would love to see those Jewish leaders in their faces now. I certainly wouldn't want to be in their place and meet him. When he was condemned, I just didn't know what to do. What's the truth, I ask? I just don't know what to do. What's the truth? The truth is he was certainly dead. We killed him. And he's certainly not there. And no one stole the body. He's alive again. I can't explain it. He told me he had come into the world to do this very thing. That he was born a king. I tried to wash my hands with water to cleanse them. But the more water I use, the dirtier my hands feel. Quintus, bring me that basin and the jar of water. I've used up all the water that you brought. I'm trying to cleanse my hands from the guilt that I have now. I wish I would have known what to do. I wish I would have believed him, because he was certainly dead and he's now alive. If I believe what I know to be true, there's only one conclusion. He's come back from the dead. And if I report that to Tiberius, he'll have me either killed or locked up as a crazy person. Jesus came back from the dead. And this Jesus is truly the King of the world. I just don't know what to do. Pilate was later recalled and exiled by the Emperor Caligula for his treatment of the Jews. Early references to Pilate's records of the trial of Jesus is given by a guy by the name of Justin Martyr around 160 after Christ. Tertullian, a church father around 200 after Christ, said Pilate was consumed by his guilt for executing an innocent man. Tertullian claims Pilate became a Christian in his heart. He and his wife accepted the forgiveness of sins by allowing Christ to come into their heart. He recognized that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the King, not just of the Jews, but of the world. She died a natural death. He was beheaded as a martyr for the cause of Christ, and now bears the title, first known Roman follower of Christ. You see, Pilate, he was as hard as nails. He was as arrogant as they come. And when he met the humble king, it melted his heart, and he became a believer.